careers have you had? Look, you can even count jobs you had as a teenager. How many did you go through? Did you stick to something or did you change it up? Graham Ely was an electrician in Melbourne and is now working as a physio in Bairnsdale. Graham, you're the country dream come true. We're always trying to get professionals to come to Gippsland, especially in health. How do we get electricians in Melbourne to come down here and be physios?
So good question there. Yeah, like a lot of kids in high school, sort of wasn't too keen on studying and that sort of thing, and Mum and Dad sort of stayed on my back about making sure that I had some sort of career path. I had two uncles that were electricians, so it seemed a bit of a get out of jail card. It paid at the time when all my friends were at uni studying and not earning any money. But by the end of it, I was pretty well decided that it wasn't going to be for me. Spent a few years travelling and just working odd jobs here and there, and eventually got to the stage where about 10 years after I finished high school, I sort of sat down and go, well, what do I actually want to do with my life? And I chose healthcare, just enrolled in any course I could get into, because obviously not taking high school seriously, didn't have the best enter score, and then just knuckled down, studied hard, and with a bit of guidance from some tutors and lecturers, got into physio and obviously ended up in Bairnsdale.
How do we keep you in Gippsland? What are the things you need as a reasonably young person to stay here?
It's a good question. So for me, I never really into the city life of going out to nightclubs and restaurants and that sort of thing. So quite alluring to come out to a slower paced lifestyle. And every year at Easter, we used to go up and stay at Nicholson. So I was pretty familiar with East Gippsland already. So it was a pretty easy choice for me. It was the only place I'd actually applied to. So I was pretty happy when I got the job as well.
So the nature out here gets you out here and the beauty of it?
Yeah, definitely. So big outdoorsy person. Since moving up, obviously, with the Gippsland Lake so close, I've taken up kayaking and exploring the waterways there. But yeah, enjoy nature. Don't like the city, hustle and bustle of the city, having to drive in. I was probably about 30 k's out of the city, so middle of the night, it'd take you 20 minutes to get in, but 7 o'clock in the morning, you'd be an hour and a half, 2 hours on the road, which gets pretty draining and not very enjoyable pretty quickly.
I love in Gippsland not being backed up in traffic all the time. And I know that that's a furphy. There are some bottlenecks in Gippsland where on the way to and from work or at certain times of the day you can still get backed up, or endless roadworks. Some of you will be thinking as well, i.e. between Traralgon and Sale, where you can get backed up. But we're pretty lucky, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty predictable out here that if somewhere is 15 k's away, you know it's going to take 15 minutes. Yeah, whereas in Melbourne, that could take 15 minutes or it could take 2 hours, depending on the time of day.
Okay, so today there is a Careers Expo at Bairnsdale Hospital. Is that where it's being held, Peter Barker from Bairnsdale Hospital?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and you're trying to get Graham's like your pin-up career changer.
We've been very lucky to get people like Graham, but what we're also looking to do is to tap into the enormous pool of talent in the region.
Okay, so we've got a bit of a... We know we often have this conversation on ABC Gippsland that we need more workers in health. Why should people come and work in health? Is it not quite stressful and everyone's under the pump, and we hear about things like ramping at Bairnsdale Hospital and pressure on the emergency department, pressure on maternity care? Is it very stressful?
Our healthcare workers do a great job, and the more of the healthcare workers that we have, the easier it is for all of us. And what we're hoping to do is to recruit people both from the area and more Grahams.
More Grahams. How do you feel being the pin-up person for Bairnsdale Hospital, Graham?
Definitely wasn't what I had in mind when I moved up. I thought I was going to seamlessly start work and no one didn't know my name and know who I was.
Graham Ely, what about housing coming to Gippsland?
So I was incredibly fortunate. I got a job as part of the new graduate program, so I only graduated at the start of last year, and with that actually came 12 months fully furnished accommodation at a subsidised rate, which is actually across the road from the hospital, so nice and close.
Okay, your commute is a couple of steps.
Yeah. Well, it was. It's now a 15-minute bike ride, so it's still not too bad.
So, Peter Barker, is there some housing with the hospital that you can put workers in?
There is some.
Is there enough?
We're working on more at the moment. We were lucky enough to get a grant from the government to build some more workers' accommodation, and that's a real benefit to us and to the local community.
Okay, someone's listening, they're thinking, maybe I'll do a career change. Why should they change into health?
I think healthcare has a lot to offer, and it has a lot to offer for a lot of people as well. It's the different types of jobs we have. It's not about just doctors and nurses. It's allied health, where Graham works, and then there's all of the back-of-house activities. So admin, kitchens, facilities, the list goes on. There's something there for people to be interested in.
And the Careers Expo today, how do people go along?
It's at the Monash building, which is on our campus at Bairnsdale Health Service. And it's you enter via Victoria Street, and it's on today from 3 to 6 p.m.
Thank you. Cheers.